Hi, this is a quick tutorial on how to use Lox's shader motion to quickly create an avatar recorder to record your motion and then bring that recording back into Unity to create an animation file from it. So for this you will need two things. You will need VR Labs world constraints, which you could get for free. I'll put the link in the description. And you will also need Lox's shader motion. So first thing, just go ahead and download world constraints, download and install the Unity package. I've already done that, so I'll skip that. And then for Lox's shader motion, just go to the GitLab page and download the zip file, or download the source code as a zip. Go ahead and open it, and then what you want to do is put that into your assets folder. Once that's done, we can go back to Unity. It should compile everything. At the top here, you should see a shader motion menu pop up. Once that is done, that's great. So now select the avatar you want to be your recorder that will record your motion. Make sure its position is at the origin 000, and because that is a requirement for world constraints, otherwise you'll run into issues. Um, and once that's done, just with your avatar selected, click shader motion at the top and select create shader recorder. And this creates the bare minimum that you need to start recording your animation. However, you want to do a few other things. You want, while recorder is still selected, go back to shader motion and click create recorder helper. This will create an anchor you can place down in the world to let you record your root motion or locomotion. Otherwise, without it, when you move around the world or do any sort of locomotion movement, uh, when it gets replayed back, your avatar will be stuck in one position and it'll look kind of weird, where this will capture your root motion and everything will look smooth and nice. So make sure you put that on there. And then the last thing you want to do is create a custom animation controller here. And you will want to go to, let's see here, the shader motion assets that you install. Example, recorder helper, and set anchor. You want to set that to one of your gestures. I typically set to rock and roll because that's what Lox recommends. Um, so we'll do that. Uh, so just set that to rock and roll, and then you are good to build and publish your avatar to VR chat. And now once you do that and you load into avatar, you should see these colorful bars on the left side in your desktop view. Now, if you're in VR, you won't see them in your VR view and you won't see them on camera. This will only and should only appear in your desktop view. And then as you can see here, here's this world anchor and you're able to place it down anywhere you want to. So I'll rock and roll Shift F6 and you see it's right under me. And then as I walk around, it goes wherever. Then when I let off rock and roll, it stays. So this will be your point of origin for when you do your animation. So set that, then you can record your motion. But first in OBS, there's a few settings we'll have to do. So if you go to Lox's wiki, there's a few recommended things. A lot of this is for streaming, 360p, 60 FPS. Record at make sure you use NVENC or X26 and a bit rate of 400 to 800 kilobits per second. So under settings of OBS, you could also, which I've done it with my other videos, I've done 720p instead of 360p. You could do that as well. Just make sure you increase the bit rate. So I did 720p or 760p, 720p at 1,000 or 4,000 kilobits a second. Um, so yeah, so go to video under settings, output scaled resolution, change that to either 360 or 720p, whichever one you prefer. And then under output, you can, unless you're planning on streaming, you can skip the streaming stuff, but go recording. Make sure you have the appropriate encoder selected, either X264 or NVENC, and then make sure the bit rate set appropriately. And then as far as your video settings, you're good to go. When it comes to advanced, and then next thing you need to do is go to advanced and change your color space to 709. It may be defaulted to 601. Just change that to 709 and you're good to go. Then once that's done, what you want to do is make sure for VR chat that your window here is exactly 16 by 9. So make sure there's no like black bars on the top or on the side. So it should fully cover this whole your whole screen space here. Because if there's any slight black bars on the top or on the sides, it may throw off your animation a bit. All right. So now that you have your OBS set up properly, you can then uh, click record and then start doing the motion you want to record to create into animation. So once you've done that, you stop recording, and if you didn't record it as an MP4, just convert your recording to MP4. The easiest way to do that with OBS is go File, Remix Recordings, select whatever file you want, hit Open, and then when you hit Remix, it quickly changes it to an MP4. So now that you've created a recording, made it MP4, now we're going back to Unity, so you don't have to worry about VR chat or anything else anymore. So what you'll want to do is take your video that you made, your motion, and just slide that into your project here. What I will do, I will use this AFK video that y'all have seen me use for my animation with the egg, and we'll slide that into the project here. So now that you got your video into the project, what you'll want to do is go back to the shader motion folder under example, load up this example scene. And it should look something like this. Okay, so now there's going to be a couple things you'll want to do to this scene. First thing is select motion source here, expand it, and select this video. Check it to make sure make sure to activate it, because this is what will read the video player, so that way the avatars can do the animation. Then under video, Unity player, find your video clip and add it. Then after you select the video clip and activate it, video here under motion source, click play to check and make sure everything works. And then if it does, you'll see the video player playing in scene, and you should see the two avatars left and right there mimicking that motion. So if that works, if everything works, then you're good to go on to the next step. At this point, what you will want to do is click shader motion again at the top, click record humanoid animation. And what you will want to do is select avatar.player2. Just slide that over into animator here. And output clip you can leave blank and it'll automatically create one for you. However, just for sake of convenience, I will create my own. So animation, I'll name this AFK tutorial, and then I will slide that into output clip. You will want to adjust this frame rate instead of leaving at 60, because that will create an awfully large file. Do something smaller. 30 is what I use for my AFK animation, which seemed to work pretty good, so that'll probably be good for most everybody. So set that to 30 or something less than 60, and then go back and hit play, and then you're ready to start recording anytime. So as soon as I hit start, it starts recording what's happening on screen, and then I hit stop whenever I'm done capturing the motion I want to capture. At that point, you can see the output path, and it's created my animation. So now, if I go back to Unity and this animation here, you can look at it, and I already create all of these keyframes here. So this is an animation. Then if I preview over here, You can see the animation file is created. So, and then at this point, you're good to go to do whatever you want with this animation. Add it to a gesture, emote, make AFK animation out like I did with the 3.0. So at this point, you can do whatever you want with it. So yeah, that's a quick and easy way to go ahead and make a record your motion and make an animation from it using Lox's shader motion. If you run into any issues or any problems, you feel free to ask me and any questions, and I'll try to help clear things up. I hear Lox is making a new UI for this, so whenever that happens, I'll probably redo this tutorial for that new UI. But until then, thank you very much.